Hey guys, welcome back to your 24-week advanced fitness coaching. This week we're going to be giving you those recipes that we talked about last week. So first one we're going to start off with are those eggs that we talked about. The egg recipe that my buddy gave me that just really helped me stick to it for those 2.5 weeks. I was getting ready for that South Padre trip. Egg white scramble. That's what I call it. Really simple and it's really good. I just made some for Dan earlier, and he loves it. He eats it. Even now, he eats it for breakfast, like every breakfast.
That's how good it is. And I would have to say, like, this recipe is actually one of the most valuable things that I've learned from Mike, because this is like super low calories. I would estimate less than 200 calories per Tupperware that you fill up. But when you're eating this, it actually tastes really good. Like as Mike said, I eat it regularly, even when I'm not trying to like do extreme fat loss. It tastes really good. You're not going to feel like you're like on a diet at all. And you're going to be losing weight really fast because there's no carbohydrates.
Yeah, simple to make. It's just egg whites. You need some green onions, tomatoes, salt, and sugar. And we actually use Splenda, or a sugar substitute. So we're going to show you how to make that, and you're going to love it. Let's do it now. All right, so this is what you need for the egg white scramble. Egg whites, your tomatoes, green onions, salt, and sugar. So I got stevia, but you can use Splenda, you can use a sugar substitute. You may even just want to use regular sugar if you like, but I usually use a sugar substitute to really go ahead and make it extreme. So, all this stuff is really cheap to buy. This cost me about a little over $3. Tomatoes are cheap. This is like $1, salt and sugar. So, really cheap and really good. So, this is how we do it. All right, so let's finish cutting up these green onions. And we'll just kind of keep them, kind of small. They don't have to be totally diced up. Again, these will kind of cook and fall apart. Spray some cooking spray on there. You see I heated the pan up already. Let's drop our green onions in there like that. So on your green onions, you just want to go ahead and usually cook for about a minute or so, just so it becomes cooked. And afterwards, we're going to throw the tomatoes in there. Okay, so they look pretty cooked. Now let's throw the tomatoes in there. And we'll stir it around a bit. And usually I like to go with about a 50-50 on tomatoes and green onions, but you can kind of change it up depending on your taste. So once we stir it around a little bit, let's throw our salt and sugar in there. And again, salt and sugar is just depending on taste. I like to use a medium amount. Sugar, I go with about 1 tablespoon. Let's re-stir it back up. Let everything kind of blend. So now your tomatoes are about cooked, your green onions are cooked. Now the only thing we add is our egg whites. So as you see, guys, this is really easy to cook. Pretty much it's just like cooking regular egg whites. When I was cooking these, and I was cooking a good amount for all my meals, I actually usually have about 2 frying pans going at the same time. So this way I cut down my times on cooking. But you can see this is really easy, really hard to mess up on. And we're going to just let it cook for another about 20 seconds or so, and we're good. A little trick here is sometimes I don't let it cook till it's completely dry. If you look here, you'll see that there's still a little bit of water in the eggs. It's still a little moist, and a lot of times this is about how I leave it. And the reason why is just because when you put it in the Tupperwares and they put it in the fridge, a lot of times the moisture, you lose a lot of the moisture. And also when you microwave it back up, you know, a lot of times you'll go ahead and if you didn't have any water in it or any moisture in it, it becomes a little dry. So right now, with still a little bit of liquid, as you can see, still a little bit of liquid left, I'm going to go ahead and take it out, and this is about perfect.
Okay, so you guys saw Mike's patented egg white scramble. Again, I really want to emphasize that this should probably be at least a couple meals a day just because it tastes so good. And it's so low in calories, very, very low. Another one, though, which is going to be great if you need some variety, is chicken and broccoli stir fry. And this is something which I've been doing, you know, when I'm really trying to get cut fast. This is good because there's no carbohydrates, but again, you get that effect of not really feeling like you're on a diet. You could just cook the chicken and the broccoli separately, like regularly. That does feel a little bit like you're on a diet, though. I found that, you know, chopping it up and mixing it all together like this, because it's all like, you know, in one like mass in the Tupperware, you don't feel like you need the rice or you need the potatoes or whatever else you were putting in there.
Right. Really easy to make. I mean, really, the only thing you need is chicken and broccoli. There's a few ingredients like garlic powders, salt, things like that, but really simple to make. But just like Dan said, with it chopped up, it feels kind of like an entree by itself. And you know, one of the things I like about having the food chopped up is you don't have to have a knife around. You don't have to go and cut everything. So this way, you just grab it out of the fridge, microwave it up, take it out, open it up, and just eat it. So I'm pretty lazy, okay? I'm pretty lazy. I don't even like to cut my food. So, you know, with everything chopped up in the beginning, it really cuts that part out, the part of eating.
And it really feeds into the whole idea that we talked about, making your diet easier than, you know, the regular eating. Because, yeah, when I do this, like, we started chopping up our food for our regular meals, too. And I'm too lazy to cut food now. I don't even want to, like, I can't even, like, go out and, like, order something regular because I don't want to cut it up. So, you know, it makes it even more easier to follow.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and show you how to make that now.
All right, so we're here. We're going to cook the chicken and broccoli stir fry. We're running a little bit low on broccoli, so we're also going to add some mushrooms in there. So first step, pretty easy. Chop up the broccoli. I don't like this part too much, so I throw it out. You can leave it in if you want. It doesn't matter either way. And just break it up like this. And for this, you actually want a little bit smaller pieces in the Tupperware. So I'm going to do a few more chops. Just because it's going to be a stir fry, so you want it to all absorb the flavor rather than just being steamed. Okay. Next step, mushrooms. For the mushrooms, they shrink a lot when you cook them, so you're going to want to buy a little bit more than you think. Probably about equal amounts mushroom and broccoli, and you know, they'll shrink up. You can pretty much put whatever vegetables you want in here. Snow peas will work. Pretty much any vegetables you like is not going to affect the calories that much. Okay, so these are our chopped ingredients. Let's go to the stove and cook this up. Okay, so let's cook. First thing is add a little bit of olive oil. You don't need too much. The reason why I don't go with the aerosol cooking spray on this is that because the chicken is like really low fat and there's a lot of vegetables, it does tend to stick a little bit, especially if you don't have a good pan. Okay, now our oil is heated up, so we're going to throw the chicken in here. You want to brown the chicken first because it's going to cook up faster than the rest of the stuff in the stir fry. Okay, so if we can get a nice shot of this here, this is about where you want your chicken at before you add the vegetables. Pretty much all the way brown on the outside, not cooked yet, but at least like seared on the outside because we're going to be cooking it more. So next, we add the broccoli. At this point, we can also throw these mushrooms in there. So in this, you can see my frying pan is a little bit too small. Generally, you're going to want the biggest pan you can get because I'm going to have a little trouble stirring this, I can already tell. But if you have something like this, just be a little bit gentle. All the vegetables will shrink up pretty soon. Now my vegetables are stirred in a little bit. I'm going to add my seasonings. First, most important thing, soy sauce. When I'm not cutting weight, I do this with teriyaki sauce, but that has sugar in it. So we're going to simulate that as much as we can with the soy sauce and the stevia. So, pretty generous amount of soy sauce in here. Garlic powder, again, pretty generous amount according to your taste. Black pepper. And my personal favorite, cayenne pepper. I love cayenne pepper, so I'm going to be pretty aggressive with this. This is going to be pretty hot the way I'm making it right now. If you don't like it that hot, you want to put about a quarter of that, but I like it hot. And then, final ingredient, I'm going to reach over here and grab some stevia. So, put a couple tablespoons of stevia in there. Don't be messy with me. Alright, now we stir it up. And you can also see, like on the bottom, there's like a bunch of liquid. And that's actually good to finish with that, because that's like the sauce that'll keep everything moist and flavorful. Okay, and we're done. If I was just going to eat this, I'd cook it a couple minutes longer, but because we are putting this in Tupperware and microwaving it, I want to do it a little bit underdone. Once this comes out of the microwave, this is going to be perfect.
All right, this next one is tilapia and snap peas. A really good combination to add into your recipe for your extreme fat loss. And the tilapia gives it a different texture. And for guys that kind of like fish, this is a very, very lean fish. I would say equally just as good as chicken breasts.
Yeah.
You know. And remember about cutting your food. Well, hey, here's the thing about tilapia: you don't have to cut it. it just falls apart. You know, when you cook it, it falls apart, flakes off. Really easy to chew, really easy to put down. So you know, this is one I really, really like. Easy to make. You know, all you need is just tilapia, snap peas, salt and pepper, and cayenne pepper. So let's go on and show you how to make that one now. All right, so let's go make tilapia and snow peas. So here we have our tilapia, our snow peas, snap peas. And as the snap peas, we bought them in little packages. You can get them fresh any way you like. We're going to put salt, pepper, and cayenne pepper, my favorite combination. So you can really put whatever seasoning you like. The whole idea and the magic of this is the tilapia and the snow peas. So really easy to prep. There's not really much you have to do. For us, I'm just going to go ahead and open these up and just take them out. But you don't really even have to cut these if you don't want. You can just cook them just straight up like this. With the tilapia, there's different tilapias. I like to get the ones that are individually wrapped. They come frozen just because they come out to be a little cheaper than some of the fresh ones, but you can find them fresh also. So the only thing I'm going to do is just to go ahead and take them out of the package. And the reason why you don't want to cut it is because, like I said earlier, tilapia, when you cook it, it just falls apart. It just kind of flakes apart, and so you don't have to cut it at all. And you can find that as you start to cook it, as it gets more cooked, it starts to break apart right away. And the meat's really, tender and flimsy as it is. It just tears apart, so really good protein source here. Let's go ahead and turn this on high. Okay. I like to spray some Pam. What we want to do first is let's go ahead and cook the snow peas first, just because the tilapia cooks so fast. And we're not going to use all the snow peas in this one. So you see that amount of snow peas is enough for about 2 servings here. Okay, so after a couple minutes here, you see it's starting to kind of brown a little bit. So this is kind of when I turn the heat down a little bit and just kind of let it slow cook. It's almost done here. So far it's been about a little over 2 minutes already. So let's go ahead and throw in the tilapia. And because tilapias, they break really easily, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it in like this. I'm going to throw the seasoning right on top. So first thing we're going to use is some salt. And you'll kind of see why I do it this way in just a sec here. So put a little generous amount of salt, give it a good taste. And even though a lot of times if you eat a lot of sodium, it would make your body hold a lot of water, but because there's no carbohydrates in here, that's not going to happen. Last one is our cayenne pepper. Alright. So you see, once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of stir this around. And you can see that everything is becoming... Now I'm going to try to get the tilapia just on the bottom and just kind of flip it like this. But the reason I'm not so concerned on the tilapia's cooking by itself is just because tilapia's cook so fast. And I'm going to turn this heat down just a little bit here. So you can tell the moment it hits the surface, you see that? The moment that tilapia's turned white, they're just about done. It's kind of like cooking shrimp. So they're very fast to cook. And so I like to kind of have this broken up by the time they're done. But it's kind of up to you. If you like, you can cook the tilapia separately, or you can cook them up together. Just kind of up to you. For me, I'm kind of lazy, so I just kind of cook them all together. You can kind of see what I'm doing here is I'm kind of having the tilapia right in the middle of the pan and just kind of having the peas separate on the side. And so kind of an easy way you can tell that this tilapia is going to be done or that it's pretty much done is when it breaks up like this. And when it's raw, it doesn't really break up like that. So as you can see, your tilapia start to flake. You know that it's pretty much about done. So now we can see everything is about 90-something% cooked. There may be slightly like a little bit of red spots, like like this little piece here, but it's not too bad. The rest of it's going to cook when you put it in the microwave. So here you have it, tilapia and snap peas. Now snap peas were pretty much about done, so it's just kind of in here to kind of mix up here. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. Okay. All right, so there you have it, guys. Tilapia and snow peas. We got our eggs, scrambled eggs, and our chicken and broccoli. So eat these meals as part of your Zero Willpower meals every single day. You can go ahead and stick with just one, or you can go with all three. But these are really good combinations. And again, you can go ahead and kind of change them up a little bit as you please. The main key here is that every one of these meals have a very lean protein source: egg whites, tilapia, and chicken breast. And they're all mixed with some type of combination of vegetables: snap peas, tomatoes and green onions, and mushrooms and broccoli. So change it up as you please. And this is going to be the key to getting that emergency fat loss that you need. Next week, we're going to be going over 2 exercises that will be adding on to your normal workouts that are going to burn a whole load of fat and really, really good. They're going to be beginner exercises, and they're going to add on to burn extra calories and fat. Until then, train hard, and we'll see you next week.